Oh no, I'm saying something highly controversial within the Genshin community. Great. So, for anybody that either hasn't heard of Genshin or has been living under a rock or something, I don't know, Genshin Impact is about to have its 1 year anniversary, and a lot of people are very, very, very upset with Mihoyo, the company behind the game, because they were expecting, more substantial rewards and whatnot. But I hate to break it to some of you guys, but when it comes to very gacha-heavy games, rewards like this are pretty common from what I've noticed. Granted, obviously, there are some that will make big grandiose gestures and give you all kinds of free, big stuff, but even among those, again, from what I've noticed, the ones that do tend to give out more stuff, even among the high level stuff, it's not necessarily very much. And the other thing that I've noticed about the games that tend to give more stuff for their anniversary rewards are typically the ones that are struggling to maintain a player base. So they reward the player base that's stuck around by giving them more stuff, while simultaneously trying to draw in some new people by saying, hey, you can get all this free shit if you download our game. And with the estimated day one sales of the Raiden Shogun alone, I don't think Mihoyo is going to be hurting for cash anytime soon, and I don't think that Genshin is going to be going away anytime soon. So it's not like they really have, a dwindling player base that they got to try to keep. But for the sake of an example, allow me to point out another gacha type game. A lot of people have probably never heard of it. It's the current Senran Kagura mobile game, Shinobi Master New Link. It is basically the one mobile game I actually play that I literally only downloaded because I'm a pretty big fan of the series. I've been a fan of the series since Shinobi Versus first came to the West. And the anniversary for that game, for the actual game itself, the most we got was some in-game currency stuff, enough in-game currency things for like 1 or 2 10x gacha pulls, and that was like it. And actually, at the time of recording this, they're doing an event for the series' 10th anniversary, and I still can't quite figure out what the special currency they give out for it actually does. But my point is for the people that are getting super upset with Mihoyo, I mean, if you were expecting something bigger and more substantial, fine. What I can understand the disappointment, but the extent that some of these people are going to is ridiculous. There are people who are like threatening the developers, who are making all kinds of nasty things all over the internet. There are people basically like having literal temper tantrums that they didn't get what they want, or that the leakers lied, which I hate to break it to you, but when it comes to leakers, they often will overpromise what's coming so that they can clickbait the shit out of it. I'm sorry, but it's true. But to go so far as to attack some of the devs over this kind of thing, is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous, especially with how far some of these people have been going. I won't go into it myself because there are videos from much more well-known and I guess you could say respectable people on the internet that have talked about this. But with the way most of the community has been responding to this, do you really think it would be in the company's best interest to reward that sort of negative and toxic behavior by giving more stuff? Because all that really does is essentially tell the community, hey, if we complain enough, we'll get what we want. Now, I'm sure you could argue that that's what we got when they buffed Zhongli, but this is a bit different, I think. And for someone like me who is on the game pretty much every day, is grinding pretty much every day, it doesn't really matter as much necessarily, especially for somebody like me. I'm literally because a lot of people are complaining that they're not getting a free character or a free weapon. For me, I I'm literally only missing 2 characters, Venti and Albedo. Those are literally the only 2 characters I'm missing. So for someone like me, unless it was like pick a character you're missing, all it would be for me is just, oh hey, a free constellation for a character I probably don't use as much. Because most of the characters I tend to use are the limited run ones. So. But my point, if you take nothing else away from this, you have every right to be disappointed or upset with the rewards or lack thereof. That you are entirely free to do that. But all I'm saying is don't go like attacking the creators. Because here's the thing. I'd be willing to bet that the majority of the dev team has nothing to do with the actual decision for this. So don't go attacking the entire team for a decision that probably wasn't even made by the actual Genshin dev team. It was probably just made by like some execs higher up that manage all the various games that Mihoyo does. So don't go hating the entire crew for the actions of the captain, so to speak. Like I said, you have every right to be disappointed or upset. That's your right as a human being. You are free to make that decision. But I think the extent that the community has been going with it is just too far. And I know, I'm sure people, I can already see at least one comment, oh, look at this fucking Mihoyo sellout. You gotta remember though, for me, I'm on this game every day grinding for at least 2-3 hours. Like, a lot of this kind of stuff isn't necessarily going to matter to me because I'm already going to be grinding shit anyway. So, literally the only thing that some of the free stuff does is just save me a little bit of time on the grind. That's it. So for me, it's not that big a deal. But, I don't know. I just think it's a little ridiculous how some people are responding to this. Like, again, and I know I've said this a few times already, but again, while it's your right to to choose to be upset and disappointed, you don't have to go acting like a toddler having a temper tantrum because you didn't get what you want. That just looks insanely petty, stupid, and if the company is smart, they're not going to reward that kind of behavior by caving into the demands. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. To be honest, compared to some of the other just games in general that I play, we should be lucky that we're even getting any sort of anniversary anything. Because I've played a ton of games where the most they do to acknowledge the anniversary is something like a post on Twitter or something, and that's like it. So at least we got something.